Hey there, Delmarva. Happy Hump Day. Thanks for watching Coast Life. We are your hosts. I'm Paige Marley.
I'm Leah Rizzo, and I feel like the week after Thanksgiving and the week leading up to December is just... no brains are functioning.
None. I mean, we love this time of year.
Oh my gosh.
Love it. But yeah, my brain it's somewhere else.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in January, if I left it in October.
I don't know. And I think everybody's just like, now we're ready for the holidays.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen, our set got redecorated from our friends at Lord's the other day.
Yes, and you matched it perfectly.
I may or may not have planned that just a little bit.
I feel like I accidentally matched more of our spring set with the coloring,
all good.
but it's fine. I matched the sign a little bit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Love that.
But before we jump into starting off the show, I saw something this morning that I was like, I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah.
I was on my way into work this morning, and I saw this person who looked like he was skiing.
Ooh.
Like on the road.
Amazing.
And I was like, I was like, what is that? So I definitely did one of those, like, as I passed him, I was like, what is that? He had like land skis. They had wheels on them, and he had these poles.
Wait, who are you?
Right? So like, if that was you, I'm so impressed. I'm so curious. I did not. I continued to hit snooze this morning, so I did not get up and do my yoga.
Like most of us. That's
like
okay.
most of us, but this guy was
Wow.
out there getting it this morning. I was like,
Impressive.
land skis, who knew?
I mean, I was going to say it snowed yesterday, but not that much.
Right.
It's gone today, but good for you. I would love to have him on the show if we could. See what your land skis, if we're even calling them the right thing.
I have no idea.
What
They
they're
were
all
like,
about.
little skis on wheels. Well, sort of in that sort of spirit, I guess.
Yeah.
The word of the year was announced from Merriam-Webster's dictionary, and it turns out 2023's word of the year is authentic.
I kind of hate that.
Don't buy it?
I buy it for most people. I don't think our word collectively as a society this year is authentic. I'll tell you why. I'm not coming for anybody. Because I saw that the other words of the year, the ones below that, were Riz and dystopian. And I just feel like with, the launch of the Hunger Games movie again, right? Dystopian, Riz, that's a little more our vibe. Not ours this year.
I think that's on point. And I think like when you see so many videos on TikTok and so many people like those get ready with me's that start with the person getting out of bed. Like that's not an authentic experience because somebody had to set up the camera and like they know that they're filming themselves getting out of bed. Like that's the least authentic you can be. And then they're like, here's my authentic self. And you're like, is it though?
Is it though? You edited your day. You're going to tell me you didn't try to make it look the best day possible?
Yeah.
And even if you're, again, we make fun of you guys so bad, and I'm sorry, but even if you're crying on camera, I just always envision you afterwards like, oh, that looked good. Oh, I have to redo that one. Okay.
Didn't cry enough.
Timer, and it's like countdown, and you're like,
That's so true.
That's not authentic.
It's not authentic. So I think it is a little, the irony is not lost on us that authentic was the word of the year. But you brought up Riz.
Yes.
And I know you guys the other day were kind of talking about this and what it means. So maybe you didn't know.
I didn't know this part. That
You knew this part, yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't know Riz. Leah taught me this recently. Riz is short for charismatic.
Charisma, yeah.
Oh, is it charisma? Oh,
well, either
same
way,
thing.
the Riz in charismatic or charisma.
Never knew
is where that came from.
And I know what Riz is. And that's what makes me laugh because my co-anchor in the mornings, my awesome co-anchor, Matt Pensick, he is hip normally, but he didn't know what Riz was. Our meteorologist, Bob, didn't know what it was. The people who are a little closer in age with me who work kind of behind the scenes, they kind of knew what Riz was.
Yeah.
I tried to explain it to them. I realized I know what the word means. I can't define it.
Yeah.
So it's like game, like, oh, you have game, you have Riz.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, and that's what like I find that obviously I don't use a lot of like modern slang because I feel like I'm right on that cusp of like it's cringy when I say like bet.
Fair enough.
It's just not natural for me. Like it would never come out of my mouth. And so when it does, it's like, ugh. It's like when like, oh, mom, no.
No, stop, please.
Don't say that. You're embarrassing me. Like that's what it feels like. And I know that that's what it feels like when I say those. And so like I know what they are through context clues of comments, scrolling through TikTok and things like that. I'm like, with an English degree, I can apply the context clues.
Of course.
But yeah, Riz, short for charisma, charismatic, exactly, like you said.
Yeah.
Use it in a sentence, it's like, oh, you got that Riz. But I'm so mad because I feel like if Riz had been a thing when I was in high school, Riz, it would have been the coolest nickname. Like, I would have been it.
You would have been Rizzy Rizzo.
I'd have been so cool.
That would have been awesome. Walking through the hallways, what up, Rizzy Rizzo? That would have been me.
cooler.
Yeah, you would have been cool. You would have been cool. You would have been baseline cool just for that name.
That's true.
Everything else would have been the cherry on top.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. I would have thought you were cool in high school. I would be the one yelling Rizzo in the halls.
And I'd have loved it, honestly.
Yeah. You're right. You told me, though, too, that some of the more commonly used words, is Riz one of them? Along with, like, yeet?
Well, so Riz is one of them, but the ones that, like, parents hear and can identify, I think it was bet, it was yeet, and it was sus.
Sus. I use sus. I use bet. I don't use yeet.
And I would say that I probably am more likely to use yeet in any of those sentences.
Okay.
Because I think yeet was like the last millennial-driven slang term. Yeah. And so that was the one that, like, I remember teaching some of my friends that were slightly older than me that what yeet was, which is, you know, to, like, throw it aggressively, or like, oh, you yeet yourself when, like, you trip.
Oh, I think I've used yeet in past tense. Like, I yeeted something, but I don't use it often.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's on the cusp. Like, now that's a cringy one.
Do you
like,
think
that's an outdated one.
Do you think, like, the viewers are watching and like, are they like, you sound old or you sound young? And then you're hip, Paige and Leah.
Probably a mix of the two.
Okay, thanks. We're here to try to keep you hip, but
that's right.
We never promised perfection. We might be a little behind the times.
Before we dive into the show, though, one more thing that I thought was pretty exciting and pretty fun. They did a list of the rudest and, like, meanest cities, and actually, Philly was only number 9. Brotherly love, baby. Eagles fans.
Well, let's separate Philly people from Eagles fans for a quick moment.
But they're one and the same.
No, they totally are. They totally. But something happens to just regular good old Philly people when they're at an Eagles game. And I wouldn't give you guys, like, I'd make you guys top 3 rudest.
Something does happen when football season is an unnaturally rude season for Philly fans. But New York, LA, and DC were the top 3.
If I lived in New York, I would be rude and sad too, probably. New York City, yeah. DC surprises me.
DC surprised me too, actually, because it felt too, like, but maybe because it's so corporate that like maybe that's why it's just a little bit less, I think, conversational, and people are just there to, like, do their job and go home.
Yeah, shout out to DC. I know you guys don't mean it. I have your back. Don't worry. Home, baby. You guys are nice. You guys are nice to me. I understand you.
No, not according to that chart.
Whatever. Anyways.
A win's a win. But we got a lot of Coast Life to get to today. Our field correspondent, Maya Henry, is going to tell us what's coming up on the show.
Coming up today on Coast Life, need ways to lower your electric bill? We've got you covered. Plus, are you looking for a new hobby? We have the perfect solution to keep you entertained. And we're bringing you a holiday event to make your spirits bright. All that and more when Coast Life gets back.
Coast Life is brought to you by BB Healthcare, Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, Preston Automotive Group, Shell Brothers, and the Parker Group.
All right, Coast Life, I'm so excited to introduce you to this next guest. I met her, a while ago, maybe even last year, but she is creative, she is kind, and she makes adorable things just like this that you can have in your home. So please welcome Jill Partington to the Coast Life Couch. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm so excited. So look at all of this. This is kind of your niche. This is what you do. But first, I want to hear about your background, your story. You're not from Delmarva.
Can you tell?
From a little further, right? So, Jill, just tell the people watching first a little bit about you and your background.
Okay, so I'm coming from Manchester in the UK. Came over here 30 years ago now.
Wow.
I come from a family of crafty workers, you know, sewing, knitting, crochet. I picked it up when I was about 15.
Wow.
Stopped for a few years, and then I picked it back up again after I came over here. And I was making basically baby clothes for my friends at the World Bank, where I used to work. And then I discovered a book, Edward's Menagerie, in the UK. Shall I?
Yeah, please.
So this is a photograph from my sofa when I started making these animals. So cute.
They're so cute.
My partner, Craig, knows them all by name. All I have to do is mention the animal and he knows who they are. And that's how I got into making the animals. And I love it.
You're obviously very good at it. I mean, when you came in, I told you, you kind of got me back into crocheting. I was trying it. I wasn't having a lot of luck. And then I met you, and you inspired me. Again, my stuff doesn't look like this just yet, but I'm hoping
you'll get there.
It will eventually. So something like, let's take a look at some of these. So of course we have this small little seagull here. We have an adorable little Grinch. But then there's also, this big octopus in the middle. So how long does something like this take you to make?
Well, the octopus was quite a revelation even for me. That took me around 40 hours.
Love it. I met you when you were making a Pip the penguin, which is he's up front there with the little snow hat on. You see?
Yes.
Yes.
This is Pip.
And I love that. Do you mind taking his hat off and showing them? How cool is that? It's incredible. And not only do you give your little stuffed animals that you make their own stories, but other people who write are coming to you asking you to bring their stories to life.
Correct. I will actually personalize these as well. If somebody wants a particular one, I get information about their pets' names, family members, and start incorporating them into the stories of the animals. So that's sometimes a challenge, but we get there.
You do. So you did that with Polly, who we have right here.
Correct.
Isn't that right? Okay,
That's
I'll hold
correct.
Up this book.
So this actually, a friend of mine, Teresa, asked me if I would make a horseshoe crab for her friend, Bill Walton, who wrote this wonderful book, Polly the Horseshoe Crab. And he wrote the book and did all of the illustrations. And this is the underside of the crab. And it's just a very educational book. It helps kids understand what it's like not to be the prettiest one in the room, and it's still okay. And it talks about Polly and trying to get to know the planets a little bit more. Very curious little horseshoe crab.
I love that. Well, we love learning about it, but also I think kids would really enjoy your work. I mean, you have a book for your kid, maybe for Christmas, right? You get them this book for Christmas. How amazing that they have their own Polly to go with their book.
Exactly.
It's just perfect. And something else I want to show off. I want to show off everything because it's unreal to me. But this, for example, I mean, I don't know if you can see this.
It's a work in progress.
No, it's beautiful. But I mean, everything is its own separate piece. You knitted presents. You knitted a mouse Santa, mouse reindeer. Look at this. I just think this would make a great gift for kids who can play with these, have fun, and they can't break them because they're soft and squishy.
This is true.
Amazing. So I met you at Shore Marketplace.
Correct.
In Lewis, and I saw some of your amazing work there. Are you still there? Is that where people should go to get some of your stuff?
Exactly, yes. I'm still at Shore Marketplace. It's only me, so I can only go so fast.
That's okay.
So I make all of these things and I sell them at Shore Marketplace. There's going to be a holiday event actually on the 7th.
Okay.
So people can come in and take a look at them there. And if anybody is interested in something that I've never made before, I love a challenge. Let's take it on.
Yes.
I do want to give a shout out.
Please, yes.
That I follow patterns. I'm not the designer of these things. This is like being in a kitchen and following a recipe and coming out with something fantastic for your friends.
Right.
There are fantastic designers out there, and I follow their patterns, and I shout out to those guys.
Well, you do an incredible job just capturing all the detail. This pirate, I don't know if you guys can tell, he has a mom tattoo. Do you see that? A parrot. There's even a little metal earring in his ear. You've thought of everything. It's really incredible. Before I let you go too, I really would love if you could show off who's next to you.
So I made the queen and I made a little corgi to go with her.
That's just unreal. I mean, I think a lot of people now are going to be watching and they are thinking they want to get these books and the animals for their kids. They maybe want an ornament that their kids can't knock off and break, you know? These really make great gifts. So just one more time, where we can find you, and if you're ever not at Shore Marketplace, is there a way people can get in touch with you?
Yep, they can follow me on my Facebook page, Crafts by Jill. I'm kind of new to Instagram, so we won't go down that road just yet.
That's okay.
But yeah, that's the best way to do it is go through Crafts by Jill or drop into Shore Marketplace. I've obviously got business cards in there. And the bottom line I just want to say here is that it's a tough world right now.
It is.
In many, many ways, for many different people, for many different reasons. And I think if you can take up this kind of hobby, or if my work that I do can bring a little bit of joy into somebody's life, then I've been successful in what I'm doing. It's definitely a labor of love. There's no money to be made in this, guys.
That's true. They definitely encapsulate what Delmarva is all about. You even donated a Rudolph to the Children's Beach House for a silent auction. So you really are just what Delmarva is about. Creativity, but also kindness and generosity.
Thank you.
Look at the little dangles. It's so cute. Well, Jill, it's such an honor to have you here today and to learn more about your art and what you're doing. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Paige.
All right. So don't forget where you can find her. We're going to also have all that information on our website. All right, coastlife.com. So when you're ready to purchase things just like this, you can find it easily. Right now, though, we'll let you go. More Coast Life will be back after this.
All right, Coast Life, one of my goals every year personally is to be a little more sustainable, go a little bit more green in my own life, but doing that on a bigger scale is Go Green OC. I'm hanging out in Bishopville with Josh Chamberlain. Josh, tell me a little bit about this initiative, what you guys have been doing.
We've been working hard. You know, we started Go Green OC in 2018. Our goal is to transform Ocean City into the first zero waste resort town in the United States. That involves bringing back recycling and, most importantly, integrating a citywide compost program.
I love that, because I have really been thinking about, like, why isn't there sort of compost pickup the same way that there is trash pickup, recycling pickup, especially in an area with so many restaurants. There's so much food being produced. Something like this is really great. So tell me about how, I guess, maybe people can get involved.
Well, the first way you can get involved is probably just reach directly out to us and volunteer. I think that's like the first part of being a good community member. We have lots of volunteers. We have 20 volunteers who run our compost initiative. We have 1 employee with our partner Ocean Compost. So that's the first step. We do festivals as well, and we have volunteers in the community. We have people coming all the way from Baltimore who volunteer with us sometimes once a year. And they help collect, recycled cans or help move food waste. I think that's the first step in probably, making your first step to get involved.
Yeah, and this is such a great program to get involved with. You said you started back in 2018. This has really expanded over the years to 2023. It looks pretty different, right? Take us back to the beginning.
Oh man, the beginning was rough. It was rough. It was, an idea that we planted. It was a seed, so we did a pilot program. The Hobbit restaurant, Garvey Heiderman, stepped up and said, look, if you really want to make this happen, I'll do it with you. So we started with a box, a literal, wood box that we filled with food waste. We collected 2,000 pounds. And today we collected, this year, 350,000 pounds. So we've grown exponentially from 1 restaurant, the Hobbit, to over 24 restaurants in Ocean City.
That's awesome. Now, if there are restaurants in Ocean City that they want to get involved, how do they go about doing that? Same thing?
Yeah, so we actually have a wait list right now. Like, we can't take on too many restaurants because, we can only sustain so much at this point. But if they want to get involved, they can reach out to Go Green OC. We'll put them on the VIP wait list and slowly onboard people as the years go by.
Yeah, now sort of on that note, one of the reasons that, you're sort of at a sustainable impasse right now is because you guys need more grants. You need a little more eyes over here on Go Green OC.
Yeah, we need people to look at what we're doing, look at our data, look at our numbers. We're showing exponential growth. I think we grew 47% from last year. We're at a point where, we have to get to the next level, which I would love to take on another 20 restaurants, but we can't get there without money. And we apply for grants, we do fundraising in our community. Our community has been overwhelmingly supportive. We just raised $1,600 last week at bingo night. So it's at that flux where we need people to pay attention and say, look, if you want this in the community, not just for Worcester County, but surrounding counties as well, like, take us seriously and let's get going on it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is such a strong idea. It's such a strong concept, and you guys have the data to back it. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if more people want programs like this in their counties, in their areas, in their hometowns.
Absolutely. We've had people from neighboring counties, Talbot County, drive down here, copy our program, and they plan on doing the same thing. So we're sort of setting the model for surroundings, counties and states.
So well, we know how people can get involved if they want to volunteer. How can people get involved if they want to help get eyes on this program, help you guys get, those grants, that money? How can people help out?
I think most importantly, people can write their local leaders, city leaders, state leaders, and say, hey, we really like this program. We would like to see it expanded. Sharing and liking our posts, believe it or not, on social media helps out tremendously. Like 90% of the people who become aware of us is because of social media.
Nice. Any other statistics or numbers that you want to throw people's way that might surprise them?
Yeah, so in 2018 we did 2,000 pounds. This year we did 350,000 pounds, and it's all because of our volunteers. We recycled about 32,000 cans at Bike Fest. That brought our total number to 110,000 cans at Bike Fest. So we're really proud of those numbers, so we can see exponential growth that we're making, and we're really proud of that.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, you should be really proud. This is, like I said, I was really looking forward to doing this with you today because this is such a program that I thought was really, really interesting. It speaks to my heart. I know, we really only do have one planet. We want to take care of it as best we can. Well, Josh, thank you so much. This is such a great initiative that I think everybody is going to be excited to see how you guys grow in the coming years.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, don't go anywhere because we do have some more Coast Life headed your way, so stay right there.
It's that time of year. Maybe you already have, maybe you are just about to. Put up your Christmas lights. Yay! Decorate for the holidays. Sometimes buying the decorations, buying the lights is a lot, and then you get your energy bill, your electric bill in.
The fun part of the holiday season.
Yeah, the holidays are over and you're like, yikes. The good news is there are some solutions. Today, Maya Henry is hanging out with DEMEC to give you some tips and tricks on saving money.
Christmas lights, cooking, and holiday cheer are on the rise throughout Delmarva. But in addition to the joy and fun of the festivities, also comes a hefty electric bill.
So there's a couple things. So for Lewis BPW customers and customers within the DEMEC framework, so the municipal is a part of DEMEC, we provide the ability to utilize Efficiency Smart, which is a program where individuals could get 99-cent light bulbs. We frequently run programs where they can enter to win discounts for Christmas lights. And at the end of the day, we push a lot of information out through our website and through our social media.
Luckily for the community of Lewis, a locally owned non-for-profit utility provides the perfect solution, focusing on supplying reliable and environmentally responsible electric services.
So public power, to me, if you had to frame it up in one word, it's local, right? You can walk down the street. A lot of our publicly elected officials know a lot of the community members. I personally know a lot of the community members. We're out in the public all the time. All of our guys are out there. And at the end of the day, it's all about that putting a name instead of a number, right? And so for us, it's that community engagement that we have. We're not for profit like other public power organizations, and at the end of the day, we're community focused, we're local.
For those who love to decorate for the season, incandescent lights may be the thing of the past, as a brighter and environmentally friendly option will light up the well-being of their consumers.
I suggest that everyone go over to LEDs because they're much more efficient than incandescent and even compact fluorescent lighting, and they're more environmentally stable. I would also suggest that people put Christmas lights on timers and be careful about, or not be careful, but use the lights when people are out versus leaving them on continuously.
As you prepare for the mouth-watering taste of holiday dinner, prevent unruling energy costs with a few easy steps.
And then, the standard things for for any holiday season is there's lots of cooking, being aware of, putting things in the refrigerator together, not continually opening and closing the doors, and thinking about how you're actually cooking.
While the Lewis Board of Public Works aims to bring public power to the community, they also provide other services to keep their local community in tip-top condition.
We provide electric, water, sewer, and stormwater. And our responsibility is to our ratepayers to run those utilities efficiently. And as was alluded to, American Public Power, we are a public power organization. There are no shareholders involved, so we are not-for-profit.
Lewis Board of Public Works also encourages residents to share their thoughts and participation in their local events.
Yeah, so we have our monthly board meetings, which we push out as much as we can. We want people to attend. And we have presence like at the city council meetings, but we also do a lot of engagement through social media, which is kind of a new push for us. We're trying to get a lot of engagement through our social media.
Very helpful there, and if you want any more tips, tricks, if you need a reminder of anything, they have a lot more answers on their website. Yes. It is right there, so you can check that out as well. Well, as you are preparing and decorating for the holidays, there's also ways to prepare your house you may not have thought of.
That's right.
Yeah, now we're going to check in with Dry Tech after this to keep your house safe and ready for the holidays.
The holiday season is here, and maybe it's a good time of year to do a little bit of check-in around the house, a little bit of maintenance here and there, some things that maybe you don't think about, but they could be very critical in keeping your house safe.
Yeah, definitely. We're talking dryers today, specifically preventing dryer fires. We had someone on the show maybe a month ago or so.
I think so, yeah.
Who works with different firefighters and said one of the top causes of home fires is dryers and dryer vents, not getting them cleaned out enough.
Yes.
Who thinks about that? I haven't thought about it.
I haven't thought about it either, which is why we're talking about it today.
That's right.
And we are reminding you to do that, but to tell us a little bit more about what you can do, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, the do's and don'ts around preventing dryer fires. Katie Zerilli from our sister show at Delmarva Life is hanging out with Dry Tech. Check it out.
Austin Ireland and his crew at DryTech Crawl Space Solutions see quite a few crawl spaces throughout the course of the week. Some need more attention than others, but there's one issue they often come across that can't be ignored.
A lot of times we find when we come to the house, the dryer vent is exhausting under the house into the crawl space. That's a bad idea.
A bad idea and a dangerous one at that. As Austin says, it could easily lead to a fire.
There are up to 15,000 fires that occur in homes every year just from dryer lint combusting. You're talking about a lot of humidity and moisture that's being dumped under the home, plus the lint. All the lint that gets under there, and that lint is lunch for mold. It's gross.
Gross, especially once you find out what makes it up.
Lint is 90% skin flakes and hair follicles. You get your other 10% of cotton, nylons, maybe a tri-blend, but that's pretty gross.
Yeah, clearly not something you want in your crawl space. Fortunately, DryTech's solution is state-of-the-art and stable.
We use special pipe, stove piping. So the dryer vent that we install is going to be the last dryer vent you ever need. We're not going to use that plastic accordion stuff that's going to dry rot and break down in a few years. It'll be a metal pipe that probably outlasts all of us, but the main thing is to get it exhausted to the exterior of the house.
On some occasions, he finds that even if it is venting outside, the material has become compromised and moist air is still leaking under the house. He says often homeowners are aware of issues, but not addressing them.
Usually they say, oh yeah, I know, I've been meaning to address that. But because it's the crawl space and they don't want to go in the crawl space and it's pretty neglected most of the time, they don't do it. So that's why we offer that service.
Basements, he says, are the same story. That air should be draining outside the home. Of course, there'll be a small price tag on this service, but it couldn't be more worth it.
What you get in return, the peace of mind, the safety aspect of having that vented outside the house, not having to worry about a house fire, I think is worth it.
He thinks that because he cares.
I don't want to see people suffer. I don't think anybody does. And a lot of us have pets. We've all got fur babies at home, or we've got fish tanks or something. And I know the data. The data's in on house fires caused by dryer vents. So if anything, if we can prevent your house from burning down or save your little furry loved ones, I'd like to do that.
And of course, once your vent is draining in the right direction, maintenance is still massive.
You should have your dryer vent cleaned at least one time a year. Maybe if it's your second home and it's very lightly used, maybe once every other year. But the important thing is to have that lint cleaned out to prevent that fire hazard. But yes, we'll do that for you.
Just one more avenue through which Austin's keeping you happy at home.
Thanks, Katie, and thanks to our friends at DryTech for always watching out for us in ways that maybe we don't even think about on a day-to-day.
That's why I love this show. I'm always reminded about wills, about cleaning your dryer.
A lot here on COASTLIFE.
Random things that you need to know about.
That's right. But sort of keeping you in the know, we're going to learn about saving energy this holiday season with DEMEC. That is coming up when COASTLIFE gets back.
This segment of COASTLIFE is sponsored by DryTech Environmental.
Well, if you can't tell by the look of our set, we are ready for Christmas, we are ready for the holidays here on COASTLIFE, and something that I just love doing with everyone is telling them fun places to go, events that are on Delmarva.
There's a lot.
There's lots. One of our favorites, though, is at the Lewis Historical Society. That's why today we have our friends, from the Lewis Historical Society with us. Thank you guys for being here today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Of course. I always just love going to your campus, if you will, especially during the holidays. It really does take you back in time. Surprise, surprise. So just tell us what's going on there for the holidays.
Sure thing. So this week is our perfect storm as far as holidays go.
Yeah.
So we have,
yeah, that's for sure.
We have events going on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but our biggest event is our Christmas holiday house tour. It's sold out now, but this is our largest fundraiser of the year. The community opens up their homes. We have 10 houses on the tour this year. Tons of volunteers from neighboring nonprofits, and it's just holiday tradition. This is the 50th anniversary for us.
Wow. It's a really massive community effort. Like, it's a real testament to the town of Lewis itself.
Certainly.
Yeah, tell us a little about the holiday tour for maybe people who didn't get a chance to buy tickets this year, but they'd love to next year.
Yeah, certainly. So this is the 50th anniversary of it. So what we try to do is partner with various neighbors. They open up their homes. They fully decorate their houses. We do a book that I can show you.
Yes, please.
These are coveted goods. They're sold out.
Very cool.
So this is your ticket book, but it covers all the homes, the history of the houses. Docents staff all the homes from other nonprofits, and people can do any order they like. And then we have our marketplace as well.
Yeah, so on the main campus that you mentioned, we have a collection of different makers and local farmers and things like that. They'll come and set up for the preview actually this Friday night on our campus from 4 to 7 during our first Friday programming. This is not sold out, so if you're looking for something to do, this is your thing.
It's a good plug.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And so our first Friday happens every month, but this one has a little extra boost for the holiday house tour programming. And so there'll be makers and craftspeople there selling their wares and goods. Our garden gang is going to be selling greenery, so if you're still looking for the perfect swag for your door, that's the place to go. The historic homes will be open. We'll have the fires lit on campus. And of course, we'll be serving out of our tavern in our brand new Lewistown Coffee House. So if you ever had a question about what 18th century chocolate, or hot chocolate as we call it today, tasted like, that's your ticket right there.
I didn't have questions before, but now
But
I do.
now you do.
Now I need to know.
You do.
Exactly. All right.
And so if you can make it down from 4 to 7 this Friday, or if you're happen to be actually free on Saturday itself from 10 to 4, both of those are great options to kick off your holiday season.
Of course, people are in the giving season. Can they always give back to the Historical
Certainly.
Society? And what do you guys do with that money? How does it help the community?
Sure. So the Lewis Historical Society, quick plug. We were established 1962. So we're the stewards of 14 historic properties throughout the community of Lewis, dating back to the 17th century up through a 1980s modern history museum.
Wow.
So the fundraiser that we have here, this is our largest fundraiser of the year. So we rely on fundraising, donations, grants, and just museum admission to make our mission come true and fulfill it for the community.
Yeah, I mean, you're keeping history alive in Lewis with those donations. So maybe if you haven't donated yet for Giving Tuesday.
Great time with taxes. It's lovely.
True. A lot of good points being made here on the COASTLIFE couch today.
I love this. Well, this seems like so much fun. Thank you for sharing what you guys are doing and for what you do all year round. Can you just remind us really quick, because I know people are intrigued now, the dates, the times of these incredible events?
Sure. I'll run through them. We have this Thursday evening, I forgot to mention, is our hospitality night. It's a big program that the community of Lewis and the Chamber puts on. So we'll be at the Cannonball House from 5 to 8 p.m. on Thursday. Friday, December 1st. This is good. Is first Friday and our night market on the campus. Then Saturday we have from 10 to 4 p.m. the house tour, and 9 to 4 the holiday market in the village.
Amazing. So you guys are just a little
bit busy this week.
Just
a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Tis the season.
That's right. Well, thank you for the opportunity for people to shop, get ready for the holidays, see some decorative houses. I know everyone's going to be really excited. And thank you for being here.
Really
We
appreciate
really
it.
appreciate you inviting us.
Of course.
It's wonderful.
Hey, come back anytime.
Yeah.
And if you bring hot chocolate, really come back
can do
anytime.
this.
I'll make a note for that next time.
Okay.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for being here. We have some more fun holiday fun to tell you about as always, so stay right where you are. We'll be back.
All right, COASTLIFE, you know that the holiday season is here. We kicked things off with Thanksgiving over the weekend, and there's more holidays to come and more celebrating to do. And what better place to do that than at Shell's Early Learning Center? I'm here with Angela today. How are you, Angela?
I am amazing.
Yes! So whenever there's a celebration of any sort, whether it's graduations or holidays, I mean, as you can see, you guys go all out. So tell us a little bit about the Thanksgiving celebration that just went down.
Our Thanksgiving luncheon was pretty much our way of giving back to our families, giving back to the community, and just kind of giving back to everybody that knows the Shells organization. We wanted to do something special. We wanted to do something nice. And our thing was we've been so limited, especially since the pandemic, since COVID.
Yes.
It's always been just one person, just two people. But this time we were like, whoever would like to come. We're feeding everybody. Don't bring anything. Just bring your smiles, your family, your friends, and your joy. And let's all just, indulge in a good time and a good memory for the families and for the children, because that's who's really going to remember. They've been so excited to just have this event. They've been excited for moms, dad, grandparents, uncles, aunties, cousins to come to their school and see what they have done. So
yeah, you can feel the buzz of excitement in the room.
Yes. They're ready to come. They're ready to eat. They're ready to enjoy everything they have coming.
Yes, and joy and making memories is something that I think Shells Early Learning is really, you guys are experts in, to be perfectly honest. And you guys have a lot of community events coming up to celebrate with everybody, not just the students.
Yes. We have parades. We have 2 parades we're actually going to be in. We're going to do the Harrington Parade, Christmas Parade, and the Milton Christmas Parade, and then we're actually doing a Christmas concert.
Yay!
It's different to hear that from an early learning center because it's like, well, what are the kids really going to do? But it's not about what they're exactly going to do, whether they know the words, they know the dance. It's about them having fun. It's about them showing their parents what they have learned and some of the things that they do while they're here with us. And once again, to give that camaraderie and that family feeling, that's our biggest thing, is we want our parents to experience these moments, these precious moments when they're children, not when they're in elementary school, middle school, but when they're in childcare, when they're in an early learning center, be able to experience this already, because I promise the confidence these kids have, it's beautiful to watch it grow, and we just want the parents to see what we see as well.
And there really is something so precious about those choral concerts where all the kids they're clapping and stepping the wrong way, they're getting the words wrong, but they are singing their little hearts out, and it is the cutest darn thing I have ever seen. You guys also were doing a little movie screening, right?
Yes. For our Christmas party for our families here at our Milton location, we're actually going to be doing the Polar Bear Express. I always say Polar Bear Plunge, but the Polar Express is what we'll be showing for our families, and we're inviting the children and their parents and their families to come out and watch it here in the movies. I mean, watch it, it's like the movies, but to watch the movie here in the gym with us. We put on the speaker, we put on the projector, and we put up on the wall, so they'll come in their pajamas, they'll sit here, they'll watch the movie, and they'll get ready for Christmas. We want them to just, experience different avenues, and if we can give them a safe haven at our childcare facility to do it, we feel like we've accomplished something. So it's our way of giving back to the community and giving back to our families.
As you can see, when you are a family at Shell's Early Learning Center, you guys spoil everybody, from the little kids all the way through the whole family. And so maybe for parents who are watching and they want to be a part of this enormous, grateful family, there's new enrollment with the new year, maybe?
Yes, we have open enrollments for all of our facilities. We have all you have to do is either find us online at www.shellschildcare.com, or you can give any of our facilities a call. We can get you set up for a tour for you to come in and for you to check out the facility and see if Shell's is the right fit for you, and join the family that we already have attending.
Yes, and one more time for all of those, the public community events that you guys are going to be a part of, if people want to kind of get details on those, should they go to that same website?
Yep, you can go to the website. You can check us out on our Facebook page, Shell's Early Learning Centers, or you can just give the centers a call. I would say we'll be doing a lot of things, from the Christmas parades to Christmas concerts, even Polar Bear Plunge. We'll actually be participating in that as well. So we have a fulfilled list of fun activities that we'll be doing with our families and with our staff, and so just check us out on those websites.
Awesome, yes, lots of fun to get to at Shell's Early Learning Center, and lots of fun to get to on Coast Life. We'll be right back.
This segment of Coast Life is brought to you by Shell's Early Learning Center.
All right, Coast Life, before we let you go, there's something that we've been talking about.
Yes.
We want to see if you've noticed it too. I want to start off by just saying it's going to sound judgy. We don't mean to, but it's going to sound
It's just an observation.
It's an observation.
That's what it is.
And
So maybe you've noticed that certain looks on celebrities tend to, well, first of all, they all tend to start sharing like the same facial features.
Yes.
And lately, that facial feature is sort of the,
Yes. No, you got it.
I was going to try and describe it, but instead I just kind of did it. Flared nostrils,
like
expanded cheeks, as if you took a whiff of something smelly.
Yeah, instead of like, I'm going to get it wrong. Instead of, I think they're trying to do like a face, and instead it's like, I can't do it.
No, but that was a good subtle difference.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at this monitor we have to see if I'm doing it right. Basically what happens, and I'm seeing it in my girl who I love, Kylie Jenner. I'm seeing it in her a lot. I'm just using her as an example. But you got to kind of think the science of it. We're going to be scientists really quick.
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden. But if you get a lot of lip filler, it migrates, it moves. If you get cheek filler, it's going to move. So if this is blown up and this is blown up, you have a deep crease right here. Woo. And it makes you look like you smelled something bad. I've noticed this on my girl, Kylie, my girl, I love you. And I'm like, what is going on? But now people are noticing.
Yeah, no, you're not the only one to notice. A lot of people online have been starting to like comment on that a little bit. I actually think even Jennifer Lawrence has entered that conversation, both as the person asking the question and the person that the questions are being asked of.
Yes, yes. So it's a little uncomfortable. So, do what you want. It's your face. Have fun. But it's just something that we've been noticing. And I wonder if you have to get it dissolved. I don't know how filler works.
I don't know how filler works either, but I do know that like there's, and it's interesting when you hear different, and again, I am telling you now that my source is like TikTok for these, but like dermatologists, or at least they claim to be dermatologists on TikTok, will
Right.
say that like sort of preventative Botox, like getting it in your 20s, doesn't really make that big of a difference because eventually like you have to keep doing it anyway.
Yeah.
So like there's no real such thing as preventative Botox per se.
Yeah, I don't know. And as someone who would have loved to get filler but's never had it, you know, it is kind of giving me pause and thinking maybe I don't need it.
Yeah.
After seeing kind of I don't want someone to call me stink face.
Well, I think there's also just a lot of uncharted territory in procedures like that because it's not something that we've seen like throughout history. So we don't know what happens with the face until, you know, we're in a new era of plastic surgery. So, and we'll be back for